everybody. Welcome to Groundwater, episode 8. This is your host, Jonathan Brown. I'm in New Orleans. It is Ash Wednesday. It is about to rain, and it's a little muggy out there. But there's a lot to be thankful for. Mardi Gras was yesterday, and the weekend was bananas. Lots of glitter, lots of skin, lots of fried chicken, lots of booze, couple cigars, lots of good friends, a lot of brass music, Mardi Gras Indians, eating ribs on a street corner, way too much king cake, but that is forgiven because those are the Lord's calories. Today, we talk with Monifa Lemons, founder of The Watering Hole. This is from The Watering Hole's website. The Watering Hole, words. None of the previous 5 seconds was from The Watering Hole's website. There's no stuttering and no guttural noises on The Watering Hole's website. I'm going to try again. The Watering Hole unapologetically invests in pursuing the craft of poetry, learning about Southern poets of color and poets who write about the South, providing affordable classes and retreats, swinging open the door for diverse forms of poetry, and pushing the bounds of a contemporary writing community. In essence, The Watering Hole is a safe place for writers of color without regard for origin, age, gender, sexuality, varied abilities, or religion. In addition, we are equally a home for both written and spoken word artists, anyone who wants to grow in the craft. And I've known Monifa Lemons for over 10 years, and I got to catch up with her at her house in Columbia, South Carolina, during my last tour. And she's such an amazing spirit and soul, and you just feel like you're in the presence of something deeper than the physical connection of the world. I know that made no sense, but something about Monifa feels like magic. It feels like spiritual. It feels like it's coming from somewhere deep and beyond the physical walls of our universe. And we do discuss how to be a white guy in black spaces. I don't know if that makes any sense, but you'll have to listen to the podcast to know what that means. Yeah, how to do that. I do that a lot. My friends do that a lot. And it's important to do that respectfully and responsibly. And I'm doing my best. And Monifa and I talk about that. And it's fun. It's fun to talk about stuff that not a lot of people talk about. So I love you very much. This is Jonathan Brown signing off. I hope you like our podcast. And yeah, enjoy. Hey everybody, welcome to Groundwater. This is Jonathan Brown with Monifa Lemons.
Hey.
In Columbia, South Carolina. Monifa, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm refreshed. Coffee's good.
Yeah, I'm good too. I'm good too because I got a lot of sleep last night. Thank you for your couch.
Oh, anytime. And I mean it. Anytime.
So I wanted to talk to you today about some new stuff you got going out. You got this thing called The Watering Hole. What is The Watering Hole?
So the commercial is, the 30-second is, The Watering Hole is a place for continuing education for Southern poets of color. So if you identify as a poet of color, if you identify yourself as somebody of Southern descent, or if you recognize that we all are, then you can be a part of The Watering Hole.
Dope.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the origin story of The Watering Hole? Because y'all started as Cave Canem South, right? Did I say that right?
Cave Canem South. So, Cave Canem, founded by Toy Derricott and Cornelius Eady, is like the mecca of black poetry of poetry of color in the North.
Sure.
We all don't talk about it, but it's the truth that Northern poetry and Southern poetry, or Northern poets and Southern poets, sometimes come to a divide. And I was thinking about doing more with my poetry here in Columbia, and trying to decide that Columbia was not going to hold me back from being the best poet that I can be. And a friend of mine said, hey, you should talk to Kwame Dawes. He is teaching now at USC, and he is a Cave Canem fellow. I said, what the hell is Cave Canem?
Right.
And she goes, it's, you know, she tells me about it, and I go to the website, and then I'm like, I got to talk to this guy. And I knew that he ran the South Carolina Poetry Initiative, but I hadn't had a chance to go out there because I'm a spoken word artist, and I don't want to write any words down.
Okay.
I don't feel like going to any workshops where they write words down. So I was like, whatever. So I called Kwame Dawes' office, and Charlene Spearin answers. And I said, hey, I want to know more about Cave Canem. And I was wondering if you would think about bringing some Cave Canem stuff down to the South. Okay. I do poetry, I do workshops, and I have a big network of poets who would benefit. She said, it's so funny. Kwame was thinking about just putting a proposal with Cave Canem to do what's called Cave Canem South. But we don't know who to sell this to. Can you put the poets in the seats? And I said, yeah. Of course I could put the poets in the seat. How many poets you need? She's 25. I literally opened up a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet and started calling people, marked down if they could come, if they couldn't come. And we started Cave Canem South. We did that for 2 years. Okay. Second year, some conflict happened.
Can we talk about that?
The conflict? I'm happy to talk about it.
Yeah, because I don't want to gloss over what you said. You said it's Southern poets, but also poets of color.
Yeah.
And have you ever come across, does that make poets who are not of color feel a way? And can we talk about that?
I'm happy to answer that one and expound on that one. And the reason why I'm happy to expound on it with you is, you know, we can laugh publicly about you being my white friend, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And we can talk about white and black spaces without any conflict. And I think that's the most, I pride myself on having beautiful relationships, authentic relationships with my white friends, right? Yeah. And then there's the others who have I have had friends that, I have a friend, Kenneth Fink, Prometheus, you met him last night. Yeah. We said, one day, because his poetry is so damn good, we said, we want to make you an honorary Watering Hole member. Okay. And he said, please don't. Yeah. He said, please don't do that. He said, I'd appreciate it if you'd allow me to respect what you guys do without in any way encroaching upon it. Yeah. In any way. He said, so I would rather you say I'm your friend, and I'd rather support the Watering Hole how I can and when I can. But the moment, you know, something like that happens and we're joking about it and we're laughing about it, yeah, but I want to seriously tell you that I love you from where I am, and I'm happy being an ally. I'm good. Yeah. And then there are the others, the ones that say, I consider myself of color. That's crazy. I didn't know that until today. You know, never seen you in any black spaces. I've never seen you in any of color spaces.
So they get all poets' lives matter.
All poets' lives matter. And
okay.
You take it in and you go, okay, now I know something that I didn't know about you. And we've had people just pretty much try to not bully. Yeah. But interlope their way in.
Okay, define that term, because that's a fun term, and we used it last night, but I think some people might not know the definition of interlope.
From what I understand, interloping means that you just kind of insert yourself into a space and kind of assume yourself into a space, and you may not belong there, and nobody's checked you for it. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, you know, it's come to us a few times where somebody's just kind of putting themselves in a space of color, saying in the back channel, maybe whispering in my ear, you know, I'm Native American descent, you know.
Right. And then some of my best friends are.
Some of my best friends are. Yeah. My favorite one is, you know, I have Native American heritage, and I just came back from Africa.
I just came back from Africa.
And I have a lot of connections there, and I find myself at home there. And for that reason, I'd love to be considered to work with the Watering Hole on a facilitating basis.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, good. Let me ask you, when they get pulled over.
I've seen you handle crazy, and you handle crazy so well.
You know, it's funny.
I've seen you go, yeah.
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 That's really interesting. It's really interesting. What was her name?
Yeah.
The one that considered herself, she was a college professor, somehow, I always forget the name. She had frizzy hair, white lady.
Frizzy hair, white lady.
You know what I'm talking about?
Where?
She considered herself black.
Was she from here? She was here?
I think it was like Seattle or something. It was some Northwest thing.
What's her name? Dalzell?
Yeah.
Rachel Dalzell?
Yeah.
With Dalzell.
You've had some Rachel Dalzell.
And she's a little blacker than these people who have said, Yeah. I don't know where these people come from. And I don't know why they won't just let us be. It is a known fact that poets of color do not get the same treatment in academia.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
As Caucasian poets.
Yeah.
And so if there is a Kundiman, if there is a space for Asian poets, or if there is a space for Irish poets, I don't give a shit. Whatever it is, if there's a space for that, then there's a space for us, and I think we have the right to have that space.
Yeah.
And I almost, like that time that I talked to my friend, I was like, hey, you're kind of I love your writing, and I love that you really see yourself in and you really speak to our needs and things like that. One day we're gonna make you an honorary. And he's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, don't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas other people who I've never seen in our spaces, who I've never seen understand us, are like, I love black people enough to teach them,
Right.
Yeah. Can we, so I can get her?
Oh, the dog.
Yeah.
Should we?
Think? No, I think
the dog is barking, and we're considering.
We'll be right back.
We're gonna come right back after a dog stops barking.
I had to go put it away.
So the dog is now taken care of.
Yeah, she's at nap.
That's interesting, in a way. Okay, personally, I can't address people I don't know.
Yeah.
Trying to join
There you go.
a black arts organization, but personally, I feel it's my. In those situations, it's my calling to listen. People like me have had the voice. We've had the mic. White dudes in literature have had the mic for a while.
Yeah.
Right? And it's okay to say, maybe I need to listen right now.
Yeah.
And then again tomorrow. And then again the next day.
Yeah.
And then again the next day. And then again the next day. And in fact, if I ever speak, it's because I'm asked to.
Come on.
It's not because I ask to.
Yeah.
Because my voice and my face, I've had enough airtime, damn it. And so if, ally is an interesting word, and I don't really, personally, I don't use it because, not on some I don't see color, but I come to the table with ears open and my mouth closed, and I do that purposefully. If that makes any sense.
It does.
And I'm trying to honor the space by doing that, and I think it would be dishonoring the space to say, all right, that I need to teach you about James Baldwin, because I've studied James Baldwin, I've written some papers on James Baldwin, and I need to school you
on James Baldwin.
That's some dumb shit.
Yeah.
What I need to do in that space is to relax and to listen. And I think it's, I don't know, how does that sit?
That really, for speaking from, oh gosh, it's like for me, and I hate to liken it to color to anything else, because there's nothing bigger for me in this country, especially right now, for such a time as this, as color. But it's like listening to people without kids tell you how to parent. It's like listening to, you know what I'm saying? It's like listening to rich people tell you what to do with your money.
It's kind of like men making laws on abortion.
It's like men making laws on abortion. Oh my God.
Yeah. So
Wow,
about the origin story of the watering hole, y'all had just a beautiful spectacle of a reply all debacle. Like, what happened on a listserv?
So what happened was, it was time to do this thing, this Comic-Con thing again. Yeah. And at that time, I said, "Hey, I'm ready. I should go ahead and get started inviting poets. What's the dates this year, and what are we doing?"
Sure.
And I was told, "Don't worry, we got it." And I was like,
"Oh,
what do you mean you got it?" And they were like, "We got it." Now, ego is a powerful thing, isn't it? It's a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
My ego was hurt, and I was in a space where I felt like I'm not coming because I feel like somebody did something on the back of me, on my back, and then climbed something on my back, and then left me. It's like that.
They kind of took the groundwork that you laid down.
Yeah, it's that visual of the soldiers running through and stepping on each other's back, and then me reaching my hand up and then going up. Bye, we got it.
Yeah.
That mixed with the fact that I am a person that doesn't have any degree.
Yeah.
And I live in spaces, and we can talk about this at length, a little bit later in a bigger space on another subject. But in this space, I was feeling at that time like, number one, I'm a spoken word poet. We don't really get a lot of respect in the written word world.
Right.
Number two, I'm talking to a doctor, and I am helping out an organization that is full of people with their doctorates and their MFAs. And so you kind of feel less than anyway. You feel like you're honored to even be there, and you feel kind of less than anyway.
Yeah.
And then for them to tell you, thanks, we got it. The first year, all but 3 or 4 people stood up and said, I got here because of Monifa. How'd you give your name? Are you a poet or just a writer or whatever your intro is, the short intro, and who invited you here? How did you get here? And the whole room stood up and said and pointed at me. And I was like, this is good work. And then for somebody to say, we got it, thanks. I dealt with that, and then I still was going to come. What happened after that was they put it out on a listserv, and the listserv went literally bonkers.
They put it out on a listserv, meaning the language they used was, this event is for poets of color.
Yes.
And then that email landed in inboxes of people who were not of color.
Right.
And they felt away about it.
Oh, felt away is a word. One person said, hey, so what if I consider myself of color? Can I come? And I don't know, people must have known that this person was really white. And that kind of caused a conversation. And as you know, with old school listservs, whatever you say, it goes out to everybody at the same time. Nobody's manning this thing. If the moderator's at work today, there's 8 hours of just people talking shit, Yeah. And it went on and on and on and on. And I called people that I knew from the spoken word world that happened to be on this listserv, and they were like, wow. And I was like, wow. And so I called someone else who I consider a mentor, sister, friend, and she said, hold tight and watch it. Just watch the whole thing happen. Don't say one word. And so that happened. So the people that I already knew that came the year before were coming back.
Yeah.
And then there was this big debacle. And then they were able to squeeze out, some people, some poets of color. But this is a new thing, you know what I'm saying? Comic-Con is set where it is. And it's, like I said, it's a beacon. It's what it is. It's Comic-Con. But at the same time, in the South, you're introducing this and you're saying we can't come? What are you talking about? And you're doing this on a listserv that has this university, on it. People that give to this university, people that were now in this listserv threatening to pull their money back.
Pull their money back because it was a person of color event.
No, because I can't come.
Oh, okay.
Not flat out racist, it's that microaggression racist, it's that Claudia Rankin racist.
Okay.
Well then, if this is not for everybody, then I don't think I'm coming. I don't think I'm going to give you my money next year. And the backlash, I can't directly speak to the backlash. I can only speak to what I witnessed. What I witnessed was a listserv that went crazy literally for like a day or so.
Of some all poets matter dumb shit.
All poets matter dumb shit.
And then that sparked, and correct me if I'm wrong, but then you branched off and thought watering hole?
Yeah, so that year was very hard emotional year for me because in the poetry world, in the spoken word world, I needed more. And so I'm striving for more. I finally find the place. I find Oz. You know what I'm saying? I find the wizard. I see what's going on. Everybody's wearing green. You know what I mean? And you're like, what the hell's going on? I want to be here.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all don't want me here. Yeah. Or now that I've opened the door for you.
Yeah.
Right? And let you see all my people that you can get, you know? And I open the door for them to come through. You guys leave me at the door? You make me the door person? I'm not even the door guy anymore. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even the bouncer anymore. Yeah. I literally don't mean anything. So I felt like it was a lot of emotions. So I was in the middle of, I called a friend of mine, Ebony Noel Golden, and I called her and I said, hey, I feel like shit. I cried and I cried and I cried and I ranted. And I was like, and I cannot believe that this disrespect happened.
Sure.
And to be honest with you, at some point I went to church and my mom was wondering why I was crying at the end of church. And I literally spilled this out to my mom at the end of church one week. That's how much it was emotionally taxing to me. That is how much it emotionally crushed me that year.
Yeah.
And I called Ebony in the parking lot of a Starbucks. I was out there walking and pacing cars for almost an hour. And at the end of everything, she said, Monifa, I said, what? She said, did you put those people in those seats? I said, yeah. She said, did facilitators teach? I said, yeah. She said, did everybody that said that they came from you came because of your invite? Yeah. She said, so why aren't you Kaveh Khanum? I said, I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know really fully what Kaveh Khanum is from the inside. And it just kind of changed my whole outlook. So then, at that time, I had on a Post-it note on my laptop, I had put together a full retreat, a 3-day retreat. I did the full budget. I did who's going to learn and everything. And I did it on my own a while back. And it just sat on my laptop as a Post-it note. And I never bothered with it because I couldn't get anybody behind it and with me on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know I can't do this by myself. So I told it to a couple of poets. I told it to a few poets who were like, I'm down. But, oh shit, this is going to get big. Yeah, nah, I'm out. You know, they kind of would falter off and I'd leave it up there in this Post-it note. And I'm talking to Candace one day. Candace, on the other end, we had created this Kaveh Khanum South group in Facebook, 18 poets in it. And we did nothing. We just created a group and we were moving. We weren't moving at all. We weren't talking about poetry. We were just sitting there, you know, in one of those dead Facebook groups.
Yeah.
Candace comes into the Facebook group and goes, hey, we need to break off. There's going to be no more Kaveh, because that year was the last one they had Kaveh Khanum South. There's going to be no more, but we're all here and we were all in those classes and we all did that work. And so we need to continue doing that work. Let's name this something else and let's start putting content in this place, in this space. Let's be the family we said we were going to be. Same time.
Yeah.
And then somebody suggested the watering hole as the name when she said, let's change the name because we're not, you know, we don't want to assume ourselves as Kaveh Khanum Fellows. Kaveh Khanum Fellows are Kaveh Khanum Fellows. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And let's not assume that. Let's name it something else. And someone else gave the name The Watering Hole, or I think she pulled the name The Watering Hole. And at the time, I called Candace. I was on a call with Candace, and we were just in the middle of a conversation. And I gave her my pitch for my retreat, and I gave her the whole pitch. And I said, the key to it is it has to not cost no more than $100, because I know poets who would come, but they will not come for more than $100. Now, granted, poetry retreats, the good ones, anywhere from $600,
very expensive,
$1,500.
Yeah.
Some of them $2,500.
Yeah.
3 days with world-renowned poets. Oh,
Very
$2,500.
expensive,
You need a stipend. You need the scholarship to go. So
yeah.
she goes, I'll do it with you. I was like, you will? She says, yeah, I'll do it with you. Let's do it. And we just
did it.
And I was not friends with Candace. I knew her through, she was going with a friend of mine, Brandon Goods at the time. And I didn't know her from a can of paint. I just kind of was like, we were on the phone one day talking about how we're going to make the Facebook group better. And we decided to do the retreat.
Yeah.
The first year we had, I think, 25 poets. If you applied, you got in. There was no process.
Right.
And we got it at $99 with t-shirts. We got Tyemba Jess, Ramika Bingham Risher, and Lita Hooper.
Okay.
Got them to agree to come and just do the work and really take a chance on us.
Yeah.
And it was just, that's the start of the watering hole.
Okay. And then that was first year, then second. Now, how did it grow? Give me the numbers. Like first year you had 25, then you had.
Second year like 30 something.
Okay.
Third year 40. Last year we were 42. This year, oh God, this year we were almost 50 something poets. This year.
Okay.
50 something poets at, and you know the price has gone up, but we still are economically better than any other retreat that you can get.
Yeah.
We have had, the first year we got Nikki Finney to come and do the closing speech. Nikki Finney won the National Book Award that year.
Right.
So how do you close out a first year where Nikki Finney is doing the keynote?
Yeah.
You know?
It's a good place to start.
It's a good place to start. We've had Frank X. Walker, the Poet Laureate of Kentucky.
Right.
Randall Horton, Willow Books. We've had Roger Bonaire Agard. It's a beautiful year. We've had Jericho Brown shortlisted for American Book Award, and a beautiful, beautiful soul.
Yeah.
Just a beautiful soul. And this year was crazy because this year Sharon Strange does our keynote, and L. Lamar Wilson and Bettina Judd, who her book Patient is a must read, is a must have for any woman and any man who wants to understand a woman and what their bodies go through.
Hit me with that name again. Who's that?
Bettina Judd.
The name of the book is
Patient.
Okay.
The period at the end.
Cool.
It goes into the experiments that Black women went through. P.T. Barnum and
yeah.
Okay. Laying them on display and all that. Just female reproductive Black women and how they were treated and how still are treated, because it was sparked off by an incident that happened with her in the hospital and her reproductive organs. So, yeah.
Wow.
We have been placed. We go somewhere, like we went to Furious Flower. We went there, guns blazing, marketing materials in hand. We got our proposal was accepted at Furious Flower. You know, Furious Flower only happens every 10 years. So to be asked to come was such an honor, and we were there, and we just walked up to people and just asked them, "Hey, will you come teach?"
Wow.
And literally, we're asking Avan Jordan, I think maybe. And literally off to the side, who we're not asking is Randall Horton. And then Randall Horton gives us a big fat yes.
Yeah.
So it's just about the power of the ask, as you said.
I wanted to ask about that if I could.
Yeah.
Right. So you've had some really big names teach at the Watering Hole, and I wanted to ask you about asking, like the act of asking. At what point do you as an organization and you as an individual decide I'm enough, I'm worth it, and I deserve some awesome stuff? Like, because a lot of us are shy about asking stuff. You know, how do you ask Jericho Brown to teach at your workshop, and you know a university's paying them numbers with commas in them, you know, and you're paying them, but you can't meet the fee that these artists command from institutions. So tell me about that, like, because that is beautiful, and I think it would be helpful for for us to know? Because I think we want to ask stuff.
No.
I just asked if I could open for POS in New Orleans. I don't know if he's going to say yes. He's probably going to say no. But I asked.
Why? Why not?
You know?
What are you going to do? What's no going to hurt? That is it's just that simple. It is being clear. No, it's not just that simple.
Okay.
It is getting to the purest of your intention. Right?
Okay.
So I know what my intention is. My intention is for the best poets in the world to teach. And let me say this. We also go modest. We try to stay where you've only had one book out. We try to stay in that space where you still have your hand
to the street, yeah.
To the street.
Instead
Yeah. We try not to go 5, 6, 10 books in. We try to go one book in, and really, people have really said great things about you, and you're teaching good, and you're a wonderful person. And then it's about the feeling, what we feel about you. But getting back to your question, it is being pure and clear about your intention. It is our intention for you to come to this retreat, and we are going to present you with the best and the brightest and the most eager to learn and get to their best work. And what we're asking you to do is to come and teach them. And what we're going to tell you is we can guarantee you this much money. Mm-hmm. And if there is more money, if we eat, you eat. That being said, every year up until this year, the first 3 years, I cooked every single meal for the facilitators. Wow. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Okay.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah.
Here's a cabin. Do with it what you will. We'll put our cabin next to your cabin, so we'll make sure that you're undisturbed. So you have the lay of this land. You can do whatever you want to with this land, and do whatever you want to here. If you want to write, go ahead. Because when you're finished teaching, we're going to make sure that nobody comes past this gate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we cook, and we pay for your travel, and this is what we have to offer.
Wow.
Will you?
Yeah.
And then we're okay with the no. It was very hard in the beginning because my partner Candace, she's a Fulbright scholar. She's a student. She's an academic. She teaches at Clemson right now. She's a professor at Clemson right now. So she's not used to the hard grind of the street teaming and getting features. And so I came into this business with knowing how to just call people and say, hey, can you feature for me?
Yeah.
Hey, I need this open mic filled. Hey, my feature didn't show up, but I see so-and-so in the audience and I know their work. Hey, can you come up here? I have no money for you. But if you got product in your book bag, let's go. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what I come from. I come from 15. I started in Columbia in 1998 doing this. Yeah. You know what I mean? So this is what I know is the ask. What are we offering? Oh, okay, let's go ask.
Yeah.
So when you get the email back from Evie Shockley saying yes, you're like, this chick just say yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great. She said yes, now what? You know, so many times me and Candace and I are on the phone and we are screaming our lungs out because both of us saw the email saying yes at the same time. Be clear about your ask. Be clear about what you do. Uh-huh. I think the insecurity and the cloudiness and the gray area comes when you don't know what you do. If you know what you do and you know what you're asking, then all the person you're asking can do is say no.
Yeah. But
you find that when you're clear about what you have and what you're offering, then you literally can go to the next person. That person's no doesn't stop you because you know what you have is worthy and what you are is worthy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Whew, that's a good question.
And going on that, like knowing what you do, but also knowing why you do it. On the Watering Hole's website, I don't know if this is like your official mission statement, but on the front and center it says, the Watering Hole unapologetically invests in pursuing the craft of poetry. Mm-hmm. Can you talk about that word unapologetically? Like, what does that mean to you? Why put that in there? Why not just say the Watering Hole invests in the craft of poetry?
No, unapologetically means we are not prepared to apologize or move off of our square so that other places, spaces, universities, anything can feel comfortable. If you knew how many times, not how many times, there have been pivotal times in this journey thus far where people have said, "This is cute what you do."
Oh, good.
You mind doing this?
Thanks.
Yeah.
That's cute.
My favorite was we are known in our world, right? And we're known in the Black written world, right? And when I say we are known, people say, "Oh, I was somewhere and I heard about you. Oh, you're the watering hole."
Yeah.
Yo, I walked up to Nikki Giovanni at Furious Flower and she said, "Oh, you're the watering hole. You're with Nikki Finney. I know you. Man, pack up everything. We fucking go home, man. Nikki Giovanni knows who we are. Get everything in the car. Let's go on back home." Fuck it. We're done. We're done here. When Nikki Giovanni knows who you are, you can go home. It's like Toni Morrison saying, "Yeah, I read your short story. I read your book."
Wow.
What else is there to do?
And you think
You think you've done it?
do you think being unapologetic about what you do is what gets you that?
It is.
Yeah.
And what people have made the mistake of doing is saying, "Yeah, that's cute. Can we have a little, about an hour in our thing? Can you do a slam? You think you guys can do a little open mic?
Could you do your little song and dance?
A little song and dance
for us?"
I have been known to call some of my more woke friends and some of my really close friends in this world that sit in the written and spoken word world and been like, "Don't they understand that we're not fucking tap dancing no more? We don't put on no... The watering hole is not about the business of blackfacing and tap dancing. Never have and never will. Never will." So when you offer to give us, like this year, we're doing a slam, but we're doing a slam this year for a university because we said we will do a slam. And we are choosing who we bring into the slam. And we are bringing you slam at its most excellent in the world of poets of color. The most excellent slam ever. And we didn't leave it just for poets of color. We left it open for anybody to be in this slam. But you need to understand what slam is, university. Yeah. And you need to know this is what the fuck we do.
Can you talk about that slam for a second? Because y'all organized it in a little bit of an unorthodox way, right? Because the first round was on submittable.
Right.
So everybody knows that slam is like 3 rounds, 3 minutes.
You show up.
You just show up with your name on a list. You're good. But your first round... had a bit of a filter.
Yeah, it did.
Was that well received?
No. Spoken word artists from all over the country could not wait to tell us off. What the fuck is this submittable thing? And let me tell you something else about that.
Yeah.
People have to be honest about not knowing what the fuck something is. People have to be honest about not knowing what something is. I came into the written word world not knowing anything. I don't, what form? What are you talking about form? What do you mean? I just write a poem and then I spit it. You know, what are you talking about? But then when somebody would say, the first publishing I was in, the first time I was publishing at Ekphrasis at the Columbia Museum of Art. I know what the fuck an Ekphrasis was. I had no clue. So, but I'm not scared to ask. What I felt like poets were doing, spoken word artists, whoever wanted to join, was they were like, "What the fuck is this submittable thing? What do you mean?" And instead of saying, "What do you mean?" they said, we were called hosts that just want to encroach upon people, that just want to use people. We were called thieves.
Thieves?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
People that didn't know who I am. And I'm like, I've done this, at the demise of my budget every year. My budget hurts every year from me doing this thing I love. Mm-hmm. Don't ever call me a thief. I've lost my jobs over going to poetry. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just going to poetry. Quitting or getting fired over poetry. Don't ever. But I thought it was because people just didn't ask. To be honest with you, I thought people just didn't ask. What is this submittable thing? We're in the and I hate to cause this divide or speak on it or expound upon it, but I think if we don't call a thing, we can't heal from it.
Sure.
If we're not honest about how things are happening, we can't heal from it. And the bottom line is, I think there are a few spoken word artists, a lot, whatever, that don't know that in the written word world, submittable is a thing. Like,
yeah,
submittable is a thing.
I was gonna go there, but
submittable is a thing. If you want to be in this journal, you have to hit the button on submittable and submit your work the way that we told you to, and then we'll let you know if you got in or you didn't. But your submittable account has a profile and everything, and all your applications are there. And so we felt like if we could do this through submittable, then we could electronically find a set of blind judges the same way you walk in. Thank you. It's a first round of a slam. And we asked for $20. Let's go through the math of a slam for a poet. For a poet, if I wake up tomorrow and I see that there's a $500 slam in Virginia, right?
Right.
At my best, I get 3 other poets in the car. Now we're splitting gas. We got to stop for food. We go to the slam. We pay the registration fee. And the odds are, if we have 3 poets in the car and there are 15, our odds are 1 in 5 that one of us is gonna win, right? Right? You think about it, 1 in 1, whatever, 1 in 15. But really, this car wins when I win, right?
Right.
So either I go by myself and I'm 1 in 15, or I go with 2 other poets and I'm 1 in 5 that this car wins. It's an unspoken thing that poets ride together, because if somebody in the car wins, we split the money down so we can go back on home, right?
Yeah.
All we asked you to do was get rid of that expense. Pay us $20, submit your YouTubes, send us your links, and this is round 1. And we'll let you know who made it to round 2.
Yeah.
And then we chose us, quote unquote, celebrity judge in the spoken word world.
Okay.
Emmy Award winning, the voice of the Charlotte Hornets, Blues Rogers.
What? Who's also on this podcast.
Right, who's also on this. Okay. We chose him to be the judge of who makes it to the finals. And that way, here at this predominantly white college, where they don't have slams, where their literary festival normally doesn't have slams, who we brought to the slam was going to be the best of the best. And this was going to solidify the fact that every year, the Clemson Literary Festival would have to have slams. So our intention was, because you have to start with your intention or you're going to fail.
Yeah.
Our intention was every year Clemson Lit Fest has a slam. Okay. And that's all we started with. Every year Clemson Literary Fest is going to have a slam. Let me take it one step further for you. $2,000 is on the line.
Woo!
Guess how much the university gave us?
What?
$2,000.
Wow.
All we were going to make was a certain amount of money on submission fees. And the people that are judging have to make something, because their time is valuable. Yeah. And the watering hole is curating this and paying for all the marketing and the postcards and the flyers and the ads. So we have to pay for something. But as transparent as we try to be, it kicks us in the ass. It makes you want to go back to, well, fuck it. We'll keep a G. We'll put a G up on the line. Yeah. It makes you want to do that, right? Yeah. And just have a regular old slam. But what we tried to do was, how do we do this where the best of the best are in the building? Yeah. How do we do this where everybody gets some money? We have 6 slots. First place to 6, and everybody goes home with a check.
Come on. And you're a thief for that. Yeah.
All day.
Says the troll.
All day. Says the troll.
How do you deal with trolls? Do you get trolls a lot?
I love trolls. Let me tell you why. I think it's a great exchange. Okay. I think what we say on Facebook sometimes to each other, things that we're thinking and we would never say to each other's face. Yeah. I love a troll, because I'm not blocking you. I'm not unfriending your ass. We're going to stay right here and battle this thing out. And in the end, I'm going to say thanks for your time. Yeah. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to say that was a good point, but listen. What I love is some white guy from somewhere telling me what the black experience is. I was told the other day that all we do is sit around and complain and Donald Trump was going to change everything in the world, and all we're going to do is sit around and eat chicken. And my response to him was, and it's going to be the best chicken you never had. I'm not inviting you to my house for my chicken. Fuck you. And then we went back and forth. But listen, that's the funny thing. The thing is, you can't have any of my chicken, and you're so mad about it.
Yeah.
Now, when you want to talk about Donald Trump, right? And you want to talk about Donald Trump, you want to talk about the Republicans and how we don't understand them. By the time we finish our exchange, only one of us read The Art of the Deal. Only one of us studied Dick Cheney. Only one of us has gone on YouTube and watched all of Mitt Romney's speeches. And that was me.
Wow.
So that's why you have these exchanges, as you bring out somebody else's ignorance. Because when they come in there, they're literally sitting around seeing what they could win. They think that they can win something, so they try you. And they try you, and you're like, the only reason why I'm in... A smart person is only in a thread, a controversial thread or a political thread, because they literally have done a little bit of research. Minimal. Maybe minimal.
Sure.
Trolls come in, I just happen to be scrolling and fuck it, let me get in it.
Just guns blazing. I'm going to show you how dumb I am.
The best you got is we eat chicken. That's the best you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. Best chicken on the block. Best chicken in the world.
And you're never going to have
and
any.
you're never going to have any. Or they're going to stop fronting like you didn't go and eat chicken yesterday at Mama's Chicken Shack. Yeah. And stop. We can all stop fronting. You know what I'm saying? And stop acting like chicken is, chicken and watermelon. Watermelon is absolutely great, and it's great for you. Stop playing. We survived off watermelon and chicken. Get a fucking life.
Yeah.
Really. Find something else to do. Wow. And then my crew, we eat a lot of tofu, and we make our own hummus. You don't even know my crew. My crew are hippies.
Yeah.
To the fullest extent. We're hippies and naturalists and herbalists. I burn sage before I start my work day. Like, you have no clue who you fucking talking to. And there's chicken. You know what I
mean? And you can't have it. I had a question I wanted to ask, and I think your Twitter sparked it. I was scrolling through your Twitter. And I'm curious about this in the sense of spoken word and slam and art and social justice, and how can poetry promote justice, acknowledging, and I'm with the caveat in the question of how do we not just preach to the choir? Like, how do we step outside of our feedback loop in our community and promote justice in a place that's outside of our community? Because I can promote justice to you and you can promote it to me, and then we can both feel better about each other and the world at large. But how do we step outside of our circles and promote justice with art?
So that's a beautiful question, because this is the first year. This is not the first year. We did something. We did a 12-hour marathon on a radiothon on Trayvon Martin, where we had poets literally tape their sessions, tape interviews, and put them out there, and then we put them out there publicly for you to be able to listen all day and donate to the Trayvon Martin family. Donate to the Trayvon Martin Foundation. That's a really sneaky one. It's like doing an open mic and all you're doing is inviting poets. Okay. When you see a bunch of flyers inside Southern Fried or anybody, the Wine Up or anything like that, any Southern or non-Southern, any open mic or Facebook page that has nothing but poets in it, I never understand why you put your flyer in there. They're already poets. I understand if you're putting that flyer in there and then on your page and then on regular pages and then on a mommy page maybe. But for me, I put it on a mommy page too, because shit, y'all come out or don't, but whatever. Anyway, it's hard. But there are organizations like Black Poets Speak Out. There are organizations like Marlanda Dekine, Sapient Soul, Speaking Down Barriers. She started that in churches. I'm going to do my poetry. I'm going to bring some poets. But really, we're going to just sit around here and talk about our differences. And we're going to be balls to the wall honest about talking about our differences. And that has now become a hit. She became a nonprofit last year, and she's wanted all over the country for that. Mm-hmm. Her and her partner, who happens to be a white guy, which is beautiful. But there are ways that we can do it. I think that when you speak social justice and you're using your art to do it, it's a very tight rope to figure out how to get the masses to come out. This Saturday, what we're doing this Saturday it's Black History Month. The Black History Month parade is every year, and I get my kids in the car and I take them down to the Black History Month parade. Mm-hmm. And I have asked a bunch of times to be on the stage of the Black History Month parade, and sometimes I don't get a good. It's hard. You say, I want to be a poet there, and then nobody answers you, right?
Yeah.
What we did this year was we invested in a damn float, and I'm playing 2 hours on repeat of nothing but justice poetry.
Wow. You answered my question. You
Hell
get a float, you roll it through the middle of town.
Roll it through the middle of goddamn town in the parade and play nothing but poetry.
Okay. Damn. All right.
The reason why is because it's a captive damn audience.
Yeah.
Y'all out here to see the Buffalo Soldiers are coming with their horses.
Yeah.
The Camaro crew's coming. Some marching bands are going to be beautiful. And you're going to be listening to Langston Hughes on a loudspeaker.
Wow.
That's what I thought. I thought, what are we doing in the community? What are we doing boots on the ground in the community to show the community that we care? And then we can move forward to some more arts activism. But for the most part, right now what we can do is we can show the children that poets speak out about injustice.
Wow. Let me ask you this. I ask a lot of people this, but I'm curious about your opinion. What's the difference in your mind between art and entertainment?
Your soul, your honesty. Patricia Smith said, write the damn poem. Write the poem.
Yeah.
Edit the poem. Figure the whole poem out. Birth the poem. And then figure out how you're going to spit it on stage.
Okay.
That's art. You know what I mean? That's pure art. And then to watch her win everything in the spoken word world, right?
Right.
As a written word poet, who's a professor. You know what I'm saying? Like when you sitting there, you're looking at her, you're like, yo, this woman doesn't have to come to an open mic.
No.
She doesn't have to come to Wild Whips or I Whips. She does anyway. But this woman said to us, fully write the poem. That poem ain't worth shit if you're not being honest in it. Because one thing we know as poets is, you could give me the first 5 lines. That's not true. It's not true in here. You know what I'm saying? Okay. It's not a true account of anything. Yeah. So to me, that's art. That's the difference between art and entertainment. We were watching a poet this morning. I pressed play on a poet this morning in my bed. I was minding my own fucking business. And I pressed play. And I listened to the first, and I was like, yo, that's a paragraph. Or you said that's an essay, and that was the most beautiful thing. Because this is not a poem. This guy's just talking.
Right.
He's just talking like this. And so I am going to the store. And da-da-da-da. And I can tell you I'm going to the store all day. Today, as a mother, I have to go to the store, get dinner for my children. Then I have to go pick them up. That right there is my goal is entertainment. Because if I sound like that long enough, your ass gonna snap off some dumb shit.
Wow. So using the poet voice does not make a poem.
Come on. Write the poem. Edit the poem. Birth the poem. Then figure out how you're gonna perform it. That poem for me. If you want to throw the cadence on it, do it. If you don't, you don't have to. Whatever you want to do. Yeah. I think for the most part, I think about poetry cadence and the way a written word poet reads and the way a spoken word poet spits. Yeah. And then there's north and south, and then there's east and west on the cadence as well, because then there's some Seattle shit that happens that we don't even know about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
But bottom line is, if you're a poet worth your salt, I don't give a shit how you spit that poem. I know if you didn't work on it. Kwame Dawes said, read me 2 poems and I'll tell you the last time you wrote.
Wow.
But isn't it true?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're a real poet. If you're a poet. Not a real poet. What's a real poet? That's relative. But if you're a poet, read me 2 poems and I'll tell you the last time you wrote.
Yeah. I think I've always elevated the definition of poet.
Yeah.
To kind of the old school, like shaman almost, or healer almost. And I think there's a lot of weight that comes with the name.
Yeah.
And there's been parts of my life where I'm super reluctant to even call myself one because I don't know if I can live up to it. Because I think it's a huge responsibility. And just because you can get, a back room of a bar, and just because you can charge a cover, and just because you can make a little money off of it, and maybe you make people laugh.
That's entertainment, isn't it?
It might be entertainment. I'm not sure we achieved that highest goal.
Fucking Love Jones, man. It ruined all of us. I think.
Yeah, I can't fuck with Love Jones.
It ruined all of us, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because if you're a if your intention is to have a smoke-filled room with some bongo players and a bassist, right?
And get 15 out the door, and everyone's high heels and shiny shirts and
can't even be quiet long enough to hear the poem.
Yeah.
If that's it, then you get that. That's
cool.
entertainment. That's cool. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Let me be clear with you. I was laughing. Somebody came to me and said, I want to start a poetry night. And I heard you did it for years. I did. Where do you want to do it? Oh, I was talking to this club and that club. I said, wait a minute. They said, what? The next time you talk to anybody about it, I need for you to say these words. We are not going to make any money for 6 months. Not a dime.
Is that okay?
I need you to help me. Right. Tell it to the club owner.
Yeah. And the club
I
owner
need you to
says,
help
what?
me pay the feature because the feature has to get here.
Yeah.
And the feature has to get home. I need for the feature to have a tab at the bar.
Yeah.
And I need for the feature to be treated like royalty when they walk in this door. Whatever you got, that's royalty. If you got an extra bathroom that you can call a green room, I need that. I said, I need you to say all those things to the venue.
Yeah.
And then tell me what they say.
When
Because all these things are true.
Yeah. Did you hear back from this person? No. They didn't get back to you?
No. No. Because this is what I'm saying, is that you want Love Jones today. And a lot of times the venue owner wants Love Jones today.
Yeah.
And we can get to Love Jones. I need you to invest a year in me. And for 6 months, we're going to make not a dime.
Right.
And if you're in, when I said that to you, then let's go. We got a partnership.
That's just powerful.
Yeah.
That's very similar to
you know the truth first.
The DIY punk scene of house shows. Because we throw shows because this is art and there ain't nowhere else to play. Because the bar owner wants to make money and we want to make art. So we'll clear out the couches from the living room, set up a PA in the kitchen and get down. Because it just means that much. And you can't go to a bar. Bars have figured out a long time ago that if you have 80s music and karaoke and ladies' night, you can do just fine on bar sales. Yeah. And if you have art on stage, it's going to hurt your pockets. At least for a year. I mean, I do think it's a long game. I think it'll level out in the end. I think the culture will develop into this sort of ecosystem of economy between artists and owners.
Absolutely.
But you got to extend some trust between the relationship of venue and artist, which I'm not sure in a lot of towns. I've seen it in some towns as I travel, like Records with Merit in Kansas City is fucking incredible. You know, like Wilmington has an amazing house show culture. Savannah, I don't know, I could go on and on, but like, for example, in New Orleans, on Frenchman, it's pretty easy to figure out if we have an 8-piece brass band and they're doing When the Saints Go Marching In and they're playing some Rebirth standards and there's nothing wrong with that, and I love brass music and I can get down with the best of them.
But it's a formula.
But that's going to make some money. Whereas if you had a poet on stage reading or an underground hip-hop artist or a punk band or original music, tours don't like that shit.
No.
And it's not gonna bring in the cheese. So like a Love Jones kind of grown and sexy thing.
It's cute.
It's cute, but it's not art.
But you walk in there and then the host is like, spending the whole night babysitting. They're telling the people, could you please respect the mic, respect the mic. They don't want to. You brought the mic to a club.
Right.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
We came here to drink and talk loud and act stupid.
Right.
And so, there's a thing for, there is a time and place for everything. For everything there is a time and season. You just have to understand where you are and what is your intention. If your intention is to be the best host in the city and have the most grown and sexy, have almost like a red carpet outside, and you want, these heavy hitting poets, and then let's be clear, are you also the one that don't have any money? You don't have any money for a feature that would bring that kind of a crowd in?
Yeah.
Because more often than not, that promoter is the one that's like, I don't really have $500.
Or I do, but the door was 10, there was 50 people, and I got to get paid, so I'm going to keep most of that from my pocket.
And here you go.
You see that all over the world.
That's why I got out of the game. I got out of the game because I can't.
Yeah.
I couldn't stomach it anymore.
Yeah. I'm curious about asking this, because y'all, Watering Hole and you are about to go to AWP. Can we talk about your goals for AWP and your intentions for AWP? Like, if I call you after AWP and I say, how'd it go? And you say, it was amazing. What do you have to do to answer the question like that? What is the end game for AWP? On the ride back, what do you know is going to happen that's going to make it great?
For me, my partner will say something different maybe. For me, until we get to a certain spot in this organization and in this business, everything is a marketing opportunity, and everything is a networking opportunity, and everything is getting that next facilitator for the next year. Mm-hmm. The rest of it is cake. You know what I'm saying? If I happen to get to a panel, that's cake for me. But my meal is getting on that grind, getting out in the streets, and getting our name out there to everyone who writes and everyone who reads.
Okay.
That's the end. So for me, if I get to, I told my business partner, I said, Candace, if I get to 2 panels a day, I've won. But I'm not, that's my dessert. That's not really what I'm there for. For me, the Watering Hole is going to AWP to shake hands and kiss babies.
You're street teaming it.
Street teaming it. Old school.
Yeah.
I'm very much, I believe in, I don't care how many electronic social media apps pop up. The bottom line is, when I look a poet in the eye and I say, this is what we have to offer and the poets need you, will you come? They go, yeah. Good, because we sent you like 3 emails like last month and that didn't work out. You know what I mean? Bottom line is, if you're looking a person in the eye and you are honest and earnest about what it is that you do, that person is going to tell you, I'm coming back. Yeah. Or I'm not, or they're going to know that they're not coming. Because I'm a love me or hate me type person. But it'll be the same poet. It'll be the same poet that you wrote. Hey, I saw that you've been on Facebook all day.
Yeah.
Will you please? And they've seen your message and still ain't answering you.
Hadn't hit you back.
Right.
I mean, a lot of times.
So we are there to continue what we've been doing.
Yeah. I
think at the 10-year mark, I can go to AWP and just sit in all the panels and just chill out. And hopefully, my goal is that my team will be working for me in about 5 more years. But for right now, there's no time. There's no time. Every day it's got to be marketed.
I love that sense of urgency.
Every day.
It's very real.
I quit my job for this. I don't have this is what I do.
You have a commitment.
I have a commitment.
There's a difference between an interest and a commitment.
And I'm a mother who has 3 children in this house.
Yeah.
And they need. I have 3 I call them mini Amazons. I have 3 growing Amazons in this house. They are absolutely fabulous. They're on AB Honor Roll. They're wonderful kids. Yeah. Guess what? I guess I better feed them.
Yeah. Right?
Guess when they cut on the light switch, they better cut on.
I just got a couple more. I'm so interested in asking this. Tell me about your workshops. We were talking a little about how you run a workshop, and it has to do with manifesting. Can you talk about that?
Sure, because that's my goal this year, is to actually launch that space and that kind of positive space for poets, for artists, and for just people who are just trying to grind. Let me start with this. The first time I met Sonia Sanchez, now when I see her, I get to hug her and ask her how she's doing, and she tells me because I absolutely love her. She might not know my name, but we've seen each other enough that we love each other.
Yeah.
First thing I did was I came to her and I said, "Hey, how did you raise twins and become Sonia Sanchez?" She said, "They got to sleep sometime." I want to say that on the tail end of what we were talking about just a minute ago. She said, "They got to sleep." So I'm like, "Oh, you mean for me to work?"
Okay.
I get it, Sonia.
All right.
You know what I mean? Sorry. You know what I mean? Because she just put that in me where then you got to just do more work. You know, then you got to get up earlier in the morning. I don't know why you're asking me that. Are you asking me to give you an excuse why you can't be me? I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My workshops. That was the beginning. That meeting right there, and Amiri Baraka was still alive, so it was about a year before he died, I think, that I met her for the first time, and or 2 years. But that lit a fire in me that let me know that there's no excuses. Now, that doesn't stop the beating up of "you're not worthy."
Right. Right.
It just continues that there's no excuses, but you're still in your mind. If you're battling the demon, "I'm not worthy," there's another thing, right? So it led me on a path of how do I figure out how to stop the voice in my head that I'm not worthy, right? And that path led me to some powerful thinkers and doers. And I started out where everybody starts out in the Black community if they want to do powerful motivators. I started out with Les Brown. I started out with let's cross over into the other colors. I started out with Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
You know, and Les Brown and Tony Robbins led me to Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now.
Right.
Deepak Chopra, right? And Russell Simmons even. Let's be clear. You keep on going and you keep on going. If you really are about the business of finding out how you literally make things happen just with your mind, you start out in places like that. Now watch The Secret. In The Secret, if you go to watch some of those videos, you might catch a tail end where somebody will mention the word Abraham Hicks. Abraham Hicks changed my life. Abraham Hicks I'm going to tell you something crazy, and people might be like, this podcast is full of shit. Abraham Hicks there's a lady named Esther Hicks and her husband Jerry Hicks, who's passed on. She is a lady who believes that she can conjure and become possessed by spirits in the universe that work for our good, and she calls all those spirits to speak through her Abraham. First time I heard it, I said, okay, this is some crazy shit. This lady's crazy. Why are all these people following her? Right? After a while, I learned how to get over myself and get over her and stop judging how the hell. If she feels like an alien is rammed up her ass, whatever it is that she feels like it's happening to her that gets those words out of her mouth, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
You know why? Because what she taught me, what they taught me, is that it's not about following one God, one anything. It's not about relying on that God, that anything that you want to rely on to do things for you. It is literally believing that whatever you think is, not is gonna be, is. So, the first year of the watering hole, we had a busy time and we were running out of money. And Candace is a money person. That's why I love her. She's money and I'm straight. Let's go. She called me and said, we don't have any money. We're out of money. We're done. We're done. She had a whole attack. I had an attack with her. Hung up the phone. At that time, you couldn't just live stream or whatever the hell or Google Hangout with somebody. I videotaped myself to Candace and I said, Candace, this is Monifa. I don't want you to call me back until you've heard this whole message and do what I say. All I need for you to do, Candace, right now at this moment is imagine a circle of poets sitting in a U with their pencils and papers in hand and writing. I want you to imagine every single chair is full. If you go to the Watering Hole page on this day and you look at the first picture, of the first year we were at the watering hole, the picture is the first night of the watering hole, and it is a U shape of poets sitting in their chairs with pencils in their hand. I told Candace that 6 months before. I can't talk to you again until you see it. Because until you see it, we can't move forward.
It gives me chills.
Yep. Another one that happened was I had this open mic called The Flow at this beautiful place called Conundrum. Tom Law owned Conundrum and couldn't keep it open. But that man was a beautiful owner of a venue. The venue was already set for live recordings, and he was just an audio guy who got a building, right? Uh-huh. Beautiful man. He used to only charge me $100 to walk in the door. Second flow I had, nobody was there. Bugsy put in his money, Bugsy Calhoun, Jamal Washington put in his money, I put in my money, we decided to go into partnership, and no one was there. Ed Mabry was going to be my feature. I'm like, God damn it, Ed Mabry coming, I have his fucking money. Let's go. No one was there. Bugsy said, nobody's here, Mo. I'm freaking out. About to start, nobody's here. I said, I'll be right back. I went in the corner. Bugsy will tell the story. I went in the corner, I put my head down, I closed my eyes, and I said, wouldn't it be nice if this place was full? Wouldn't it be nice if everybody in this place was in here and we all were laughing and joking and talking and looking at poetry and looking at Ed and loving each other and loving poetry? Wouldn't it be beautiful? Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? Because wouldn't it be nice is a tactic, a tip, or a tactic that Abraham Hicks will teach you. Wouldn't it be nice? And you say whatever it is and you envision it. Bugsy said when I stood up and turned around, there were 10 people at the door, and the door just kept on filling it. It's just that simple.
Whoa.
And when I say it's just that simple, I'm not saying that I always do it. Because I'm in fear right now.
Yeah.
I'm about to apply for an to get into an MFA program with no bachelor's. I'm scared to fucking death.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be nice?
Wouldn't it be nice?
If me without my bachelor's had an MFA? Wouldn't it be nice? And it's just that simple. And what I've learned since then, because those are my simple tricks that I learned back in the day. Since then, I've gone through cyclical, I'm not enough. I talked to you the last time I went and got a job because I felt like I wasn't enough.
Yeah.
You know, and that fear. And I talked to you the day that I left my job.
Yeah.
Because we all fall off our vortex or fall off our flying disc. That's what she calls them. Or fall off your square, you know, for those of you who don't know Abraham. But if you literally see it and you keep your eyes on it, and I'm not talking about keeping your eyes on it and on everything else that's going on. I'm talking about having zero in your account and knowing that everything is paid. Seeing the zero, literally putting it out of your head, and just focus on everything is paid. Not by what. I'm not allowed to decide how it's going to happen. I'm only allowed to say what I want to happen.
Wow. And
if I release myself to how, it happens every single time for me. If I release how. If I don't release how, it gets so messed up.
Right, because you caught the details and then you start to spin towards the reasons it can't happen. Because how? Well, I don't know. And then you run through
I have no clue.
Yeah.
I have no clue how. I don't know right now how I'm going to survive the rest of the year because my only job is the watering hole. What I do know is that I know that the watering hole will be my full-time salary and my children won't need anything this year.
There you go.
I'm not allowed to think about how.
Love it.
And whenever anything feels good inside of me, when I'm going to do it, like you taught me that trick today with the thing with the emails, right?
Yeah.
You taught me a trick today. So I went in there and I started shopping for tablets, right?
Okay.
And we're on a tight-ass fucking budget. But there's absolutely no way I'm not going to gain another tool that's going to help us build our following, that's going to move me towards getting a salary from my organization.
Yeah.
Absolutely no way.
Let me ask you this. So in the workshopping of these theories...
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. I'm sorry.
How would you sit with someone else and kind of coach them towards this direction?
Okay. And let me apologize for going off.
No, you're good. You're good.
How I start a poetry workshop is I'm not here for your poetry. I'm not here to teach you poetry. I'm still working on learning poetry myself. What I'm here to do is to help you to flesh out your goals and to get you to understand by the end of this workshop all that matters is what it is that you envision yourself getting. I'm only here to help you to forgive anything that's inside of you that's stopping you from getting there. I'm only here for that. Because it is my intention, right, to help you move those things out of the way so you can get to your best work.
Wow.
Because you can't tell the truth in your poetry if your ass is still fucked up over your dad.
Yeah, that's
or your
true.
bills or your money or what you can't do or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm only here to help you move in the way of forgiveness. And then we can practice the art of allowing. And allowing is, I'm driving down the street, I'm going to my first feature, and my tire blows. And I got no money for a new tire. Literally allowing the sense of urgency and a failure to come in, because if you don't allow it to come in, you can't allow it to leave out, and then leave. Because if we don't allow it to leave, we are stuck in that space of we can't, right?
Right.
But isn't it the moment that you go, well, it is what it is? Isn't that the moment when somebody pulls up with a tire?
Yeah.
Isn't that the moment that somebody calls you and say, hey, I'm on the way to this spot. Can I come pick you up? Isn't that moment? The moment that you get rid of it? The moment that you even laugh at it? When shit's so fucked up and you can laugh, yo, that space, I have been in a space where I couldn't move forward physically to a space. And I have to stop and meditate on me standing there. And that's when the cavalry comes.
Wow.
But if I can't, like you told me this, you can keep on talking about how you can't. I'm in. Let's go. Let's talk about how you can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I'm there for. All I'm there for is to help you move the stuff out of the way that stops you from getting to your best work.
That's powerful.
I'm only here for that.
Whoa. I gotta thank you. I'm really moved by this. All right, just two last questions. One, what is your most tangible fear?
That my children are left with no legacy. That this legacy that I'm trying to build for my children is not realized.
Okay.
That's it.
What is the opposite of your most tangible fear?
That my daughters are built with the mindset that whatever it is that they want to do is done. Because you can't stop that person.
Yeah.
You know who I love?
Huh.
Richard fucking Branson. You know why? I don't know how to build a rocket ship to go to the moon.
Right.
But I'm Richard fucking Branson. And if NASA can do it, then there's got to be some scientist guy that I can get that can do it.
Yeah.
I was told one time, you artists, you entrepreneurs, y'all always want to come up with ideas and don't want to sit down and write anything down and work on the plan and all that stuff. I said, smart entrepreneurs know that some of them are here to just come up with the fucking ideas. And then they can release themselves to go find the people that they need to team up with to make their ideas happen. And that's how you get a Richard Branson.
Yeah.
That's how you get Tony Robbins' empire. Let's be clear. That's how you get a Diddy who can make clothes and water and concerts and, and rob artists for their royalties. That's how you get them, motherfucker. You get them that way.
Yeah.
Those are the people that believe that my ideas are just that powerful. So my artist idea, I hate to write things down. Now I do. Now I have a running to-do list at all times.
Yeah.
I hate to write things down. But guess who does write everything down? My business partner.
There you go.
She writes everything down.
Yeah.
And we both understand that we need each other to move forward. And that's how these beautiful artistic ideas come to fruition. I cannot believe that it's anybody else but the universe. Because I told the universe that I wanted to do a retreat that cost less than $100.
Yeah.
For 3 days.
Wow.
The beauty of manifestation is knowing that it never ends.
Yeah.
The 3-day retreat turned into a 5-day retreat.
There you go.
Last year we had somebody. The year before last, we had a person that does improvisation come in. Improv theater.
Yeah.
Come in. And had the poets, these written word poets who are used to doing this, come in and move while they did their poetry.
Oh, come on.
They lost their damn minds. They were like, please bring him back.
Wow.
No, I'm not going to bring them back. You know why? The next year I had Ebony Noel Golden come in and teach them yoga and have them do a 3-word poem in movement in 3-person teams. 3 words to the poem.
Wow.
Every year we get better and better, and every year we get closer and closer to your truth, to your inner spiritual truth, because that's the only way you're going to put out good poetry.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. All right. Well, I love you. Thank you so much for being on Groundwater. Do you have anything you want to leave us with? Any closing words? Anything we should be checking for?
You know what? Just keep checking for the watering hole. I ask that everybody just put the watering hole in the light. And I'm asking that you know that this what it's relying on, what's relying on the light. You know, our goals and dreams are all different. But if you believe anything that I just said over the last hour, just know that my intentions are pure. And if you believe that, just help me hold it up in the light. Help me hold the watering hole in the light. That's it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And what is the Watering Hole's Twitter and website?
We are twhpoetry.org. We also have a child division, inspirationsacademy.org, because we work with the kids every year. We also, our handles are TWH Poetry on Instagram, on Twitter, and we're at The Watering Hole, Cave Canem South, on Facebook. And everybody, no matter what color, can be a part of our Facebook group. Come on.
That's what's up. Well, I love you.
I love you too, Jonathan.
Thanks for listening, everybody. That was Monifa Lemons from The Watering Hole on Groundwater. You can learn more about The Watering Hole at twhpoetry.wordpress.com. Check them out. They have some summer intensive workshops in August. I think it's every weekend in August, but I'm not quite sure. Definitely go to their website and check it out. Thanks again for listening. I'm going to close out with a poem from Monifa Lemons. And as always, if you want to support, you can go to my website. It's called www.jonathanbrownmusic.com. And you can get my brand new book called Fight Dirty on Amazon.com. I love you guys. Thanks for listening. I'm hitting the road in the morning for the beginning of a month-long tour, and I'll let you know how that goes as I do it. I love you guys. Thanks again for listening. Bye.
After Grant and Brown and Rice, and if there was breath, if there was any room left for another inhale, if my lungs were colorblind, trained, if there were breath, if there was just any room left for another inhale, if my lungs were colorblind and untrained, inhale, obey, exhale, surrender. If my lungs had just one more breath and were colorblind, if my lungs had one less leader, one better rally, just one more song, one less leader, one less rally, one more song, one better leader, one less rally, one more song, one better leader, one less rally, one more song, one better leader, one more rally, one less song. Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. If I just had one better leader, if I just had one more rally, if I just had one more song regarding my inability to think about other than death. maybe then I would have inhaled in protest